Title: We're gonna try to kick his butt. Jason Kidd's first take on Luka Doncic's new body, full breakdown. Hook: midnight to 0:20. Luka Doncic rolled into the offseason looking different, leaner, quicker, and somehow more explosive in clips that blew up on social. Tonight we break down Jason Kidd's first public reaction, why that one line matters, and what it could mean for the entire league. Spoiler: Kidd didn't mince words. Intro: 0:20 to 0:50. Off-season transformations are a favorite sports headline. Before and after photos, a new trainer, cryptic gym posts. But when a respected coach publicly singles out a player, it moves from gossip to strategy. Jason Kidd's comment about Luka's physical change did exactly that. It's now a storyline teams will prepare for, fans will debate, and analysts will watch closely when the regular season tips off. Key paragraph, single paragraph as requested. We're gonna try to kick his butt. Jason Kidd doesn't mince words in first statement on Luka Doncic's physical transformation. Why that line lands, 0:50 to 2 o'clock. That's not locker room banter, it's a declaration. Kidd, a former all-star point guard turned coach, didn't compliment or speculate. He framed Luka's off-season work as a threat that demands an answer. When an opposing coach speaks that plainly, it does three things at once. It fires up his own team, signals the league that Luka is a changed variable, and creates a public narrative that puts pressure on both sides. What fans actually saw this summer, 2 to 3:30. The evidence wasn't just a single photo, it was a pattern. Training footage showed tighter movement, quicker first steps in limited pickup game clips, and a player who looked less winded after extended stretches. That kind of visible change suggests not just cosmetic weight loss but improved conditioning and potentially better explosion. Still, highlights and workouts are controlled settings. The real test comes in real game situations under real fatigue. How coaches process off-season changes, 3:30 to 5 o'clock. Coaches don't judge athletes on aesthetics, they measure threat levels. A player who can sustain speed, absorb contact, and maintain decision-making late in games becomes exponentially harder to stop. Kidd's comment is a coach's shorthand for, "We've noticed something, prepare accordingly." It's a rallying cry for defenders to be physical, for coordinators to design schemes, and for assistants to sketch scouting reports that treat Luka differently. Tactical responses opponents might adopt, 5 to 6:45. If Luka is quicker and more conditioned, teams will react tactically. Expect more strategic physicality on drives, sending help early, contesting finish attempts, and daring him to shoot over length. You'll see tweaks to closeouts to avoid giving him clean pull-up space, and more use of switchable wings to deny him mismatches. Defensive rotations will emphasize cutting off angles rather than just standing tall and hoping length does the work. What this change could unlock for Luka, 6:45 to 8:30. A trimmer, fitter Luka could mean several on-court improvements, finishing through contact more often, sustaining a higher level across all four quarters, and possibly helping more on defense with quicker recovery. If his stamina improves, the Mavericks might lean on him for longer stretches, creating matchup problems late in games and deeper playoff series. But improvement isn't linear. More speed can also mean getting stripped or overcommitting if not paired with disciplined decision-making. Possible trade-offs and cautions, 8:30 to 9:45. There's always a balance. Losing weight can increase speed but potentially reduce the ability to absorb massive contact in the paint. Luka's game features a blend of finesse and strength. If the off-season removed too much of the latter, opponents might ramp up physical drives and fouling tactics. The smart approach is measured conditioning, enough to boost explosiveness without sacrificing the power that lets him finish against bigger defenders. How Dallas's roster matters, 9:45 to 11:15. A player's physical change is only as useful as the supporting cast allows. If Luka is driving more and collapsing defenses, Dallas needs floor spacers who can knock down kickouts and rim runners who finish lobs and offensive rebounds. If the Mavs can space the floor and cut efficiently, Luka's improved quickness becomes a team multiplier, not just a headline. Coaching, spacing, and role clarity will decide whether this off-season work becomes a franchise-level advantage. Psychological angles. Why Kidd's line matters off the court, 11:15 to 12:30. Public challenges are psychology in action. By saying we're gonna try to kick his butt, Kidd injects a little chip on his own team's shoulder and a little heat into the narrative around Luka. That can motivate opponents, but it can also motivate Luka. Elite players often respond to perceived disrespect. The media echo chamber will amplify this, turning a physical update into an emotional storyline that plays out over the season. What to watch in the first month, 12:30 to 2 p.m. Early indicators will reveal whether the transformation is substantive. Watch his stamina on back-to-backs, his effectiveness finishing through contact, how often he gets to his preferred spots without slowing, and any shift in defensive effort or recovery speed. Also pay attention to minutes management. If Dallas gives him more heavy minutes early, that's a sign they trust the work was worth it. Playoff implications, 14 to 3 p.m. If the change holds through the long haul, the playoffs are where the dividends show. Teams that can wear down stars over 7 games will struggle more if Luka can maintain high output late into series. Conversely, the postseason is when opposing teams have time to schematize and exploit anything they see as a weakness, so Dallas will want to hide those weaknesses before matchups tighten. Counter-arguments, 15 to 4 p.m. Not everyone buys the hype. Some will call it optics, others will say Luka simply looks different in warm-up clips. That's fair, we've seen off-season narratives fizzle before. The best response is evidence, sustained early-season performance and playoff resilience. Until then, it's healthy to be both excited and skeptical. Closing take, 16 to 5 p.m. Jason Kidd's blunt first take did what it was supposed to. It turned Luka's off-season work into a league story. Whether that story becomes a season-defining twist depends on how the body performs when it matters most. For now, enjoy the drama, watch the early games, and keep an eye on the margins. Those are where true improvements reveal themselves. Call to action, 17 to 17:30. What do you think, real upgrade or media noise? Drop your hot takes in the comments, hit like if you want more breakdowns, and subscribe for daily NBA analysis. If you want a team-specific scouting breakdown on how Kidd or any other coach will try to stop Luka, name the team below and I'll dive into it next.